Today, I'm going to go over the absolute best path to victory Trump has to be re-elected president. The path I'm about to showcase has an extremely little chance of happening, but it is still within the realm of possibility, seeing as Trump is still an extremely popular politician and has a very real chance of re-election. In this video, I'm not going to be categorizing each state as safe, likely, lean, or tilt, as I'm only going to organize each state by the party that they will be voting for in this scenario. First off, let's go over the states that Trump is going to win no matter what, which are Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, except for the 2nd district, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, and Alaska. Each of these states has a legislator that is more than 2/3 Republican, and with the exception of Montana and West Virginia, all of them sent 2 Republicans to the Senate. Joe Biden has almost a 0% chance he can win any of these states, as they are all hardline Republican and will continue to stay that way for the time being. Now let's go over the states that Biden will win in any scenario, which are Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, Illinois, Washington DC, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New York, and Maine's 1st district along with the senatorial votes. And Trump will have an extremely hard time winning any of these states, as these states have consistently shown an approval rating below 50% for Trump for his entire presidency, and in some states such as California or Oregon, that number has shrunk even further to below 40%, which makes it practically impossible to win these states. With the safe states from both the Democratic and Republican side out of the way, I would like to point out 2 things. First, in the most likely scenario, some of these safe Republican states will actually be likely states such as South Carolina or Alaska. Secondly, in the most likely scenario, a couple of these safe Democrat states such as Oregon or New Mexico will also be in the likely column. With that cleared out, let's go over the group of states that Trump must win in his best case scenario, which is Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The Rust Belt is what gave Trump his 2016 victory, and in order to clinch a second term in the White House, he needs to dominate this region once more. While his polling is in a slump in this region, it can still be improved upon as he has been campaigning extensively in these states such as Michigan and Pennsylvania. Also, when Barack Obama was up for re-election, the Michigan unemployment rate was greater than 9% and the state voted in the tilt column for Obama. Today, the Michigan unemployment rate is 8.4%, which is lower than when it re-elected Obama, meaning that it is still feasible for Trump to win the state once more. As for Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, Trump will have a much easier time winning these states as the coronavirus has not created such a high unemployment rate as it has in Michigan, with both of these states showing an unemployment rate of 6.5% each. Keep in mind that in the most likely scenario, Biden will win all 3 of these states, but Trump can still win all of them in his best case scenario. The next 3 Republican states I'd like to categorize are the states of Ohio, Iowa, and Minnesota. The states of Ohio and Iowa are already Republican-leaning swing states that voted for Trump by overwhelming margins in 2016 and will likely do so again. While Iowa has been waning in terms of support for Trump, the state is likely going to bounce back from the Trump slump it's facing in the Hawkeye state, as he's been spending close to $80 million in advertisements in a state that only has a population of 3 million. When it comes to the upper Midwestern state of Minnesota, Trump will have a difficult time capturing the state's 10 electoral votes, but it is still within the realm of possibility. Contrary to most states, Trump has been experiencing an upward trend in his terms of approval rating in Minnesota. In late July, his approval rating in Minnesota is close to 39%, but has increased to 45% as of mid-October. Along with that, the JHK forecast recently gave Trump a 20% chance of winning the state. While it will be an uphill climb to win the state, it will have to be done in order for his best case scenario to play out. The last group of states that will vote Democrat even in Trump's best scenario are Colorado, Virginia, and New Hampshire. These states are considered by many to be swing states, but this is not remotely the case anymore. All of these states contain a state legislature that is more than 60% Democrat each and sent 2 Democrats to the Senate, with the exception of Colorado. Even in the case of Colorado, their sole Republican senator is expected to lose his seat as the JFK forecast gives him less than a 15% chance of retaining his position. Besides the party makeup of their elected officials, these states have been trending Democrat for more than a decade now due to demographic changes and are likely to continue down this path. For these reasons, the states of Colorado, Virginia, and New Hampshire will be put into the Biden column, even in Trump's best case scenario. The next 3 states that I will be giving to Trump in this scenario are Nevada, Arizona, and the juggernaut state of Texas. Texas is most likely going to vote for Trump in the 2020 election, even in the most likely scenario, as it continues to lean Republican on the national scale and will likely continue to do so until 2028, when it has a very real chance of voting Democrat. As for the western state of Arizona, Trump still has a very good chance of winning over the state, as his polling is not too bad there compared to other states, along with the fact that in the 2018 Senate election, the Democratic challenger only won by 2 points, which gives Trump a reasonable chance of winning. When it comes to Nevada, Trump has to fight to win this state, but it is still possible. The state is currently expecting to vote for Biden by a mere 2 points in the 2020 general election, which means that even in the best case scenario, it can still clinch a victory in Nevada. If Trump were to amp up spending in the state by 40% and advertise more strategically, he can very realistically win the state of Nevada. The last group of states I will be categorizing are the southern states of North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, which will all vote for Trump in this scenario. While currently these states are all leaning into the Biden column by extremely tiny margins, Trump will likely rebound in all these states before election day. For the last couple of months, Trump has been making massive bounds to catching up to Biden and is neck and neck in the states of North Carolina and Florida and is slightly ahead in Georgia. While it is still possible for Trump to lose these southern states, it will likely not happen as these states consist of legislators that are majority Republican and all send 2 Republicans to the Senate. The final 2 electoral votes I can give to either candidate are the outlying districts of Nebraska and Maine, and I will be giving both to Trump as it has to be done in his best case scenario. To summarize, this scenario I have just played out has a low chance of happening as the Rust Belt and Western states will most likely vote Democratic, but in order for Trump's best scenario to play out, they will have to vote Republican. Even in the most likely scenario, Trump will win states such as Ohio or Iowa, but will likely lose states such as Arizona or Nevada. Still, I would like to thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe.